Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. And as you can tell from the title of this video, I am recovering from COVID. And I'm guessing based on the fact that you are here that you are likely recovering from COVID as well. So just to give you some reference, I was exposed to the coronavirus about 11 days ago, and I started getting symptoms 7 days ago. And I am finally on the back end of this. So this is actually my first time doing any type of physical movement since the onset of symptoms. And so because of that, I just want to make it known right now that if you're still experiencing a lot of symptoms and you're still feeling very sick and you're having trouble breathing, that this video is probably not a good idea for you, and that I want the focus of this yoga practice today to be healing. This is not a workout. We're not focusing on toning the body, strengthening the body. We are working on acceptance. Accepting our body where it is today, accepting that your body has been working extra hard to fight off this virus, and so you need to be gentle. The most important thing you can do for your body right now is to listen to it. And if throughout the practice, your body starts to give you any sort of stop signs, to be sure that you listen to them and don't push yourself beyond what your body is telling you. So the only yoga pose that your body may need today could be just Sukhasana. So sitting here and breathing deep, that's awesome. So with that, today's mantra is going to be, I will honor my body where it is today. We're going to be focusing on breath that's going to increase your lung capacity and focus on poses that are going to stretch and open up the chest and be very healing and gentle on the body. So we will begin in a Sukhasana. So that's easy pose, and that could be really anything that's comfortable for you. So I'm sitting crisscross applesauce. That's what's good for me. Sometimes people like to be in a butterfly, so feet together, or extending the legs all the way out. So again, it's whatever you are most comfortable with. And we're just gonna start with some nice deep breaths. So I'm gonna take my left hand about 3 finger widths below my belly button, and I'm gonna take my right hand right onto my chest. You can close your eyes if that feels good. And just start to feel everything in your body start to soften. Now, I'm the type of person where I need to kind of move my body to still my mind, so I like to just bring some gentle movements to my body. So I'm just swaying a little bit side to side as I continue to deepen my breath. And as you breathe and as you feel your body soften, I want you to repeat that mantra to yourself that I gave you in the beginning of class. I honor my body where it is today. So, so, so important. That's the best thing that you can do for your body right now. Also super important throughout your illness that you breathe deep and that you keep your lungs open and clear. My only exercise the past 7 days has been just breathing deep. That's it. And if your mind starts to wander, just bring it back to that mantra. Keep repeating to yourself, I honor my body where it is today. And as you sit and breathe and repeat that to yourself, just continue to feel your body soften. And feel the glutes soft, the shoulders soft, the jaw soft, space in between the eyebrows soften, and finally your mind is soft. Release any judgments, You know, the first couple of days I was pretty hard on myself in terms of the lack of physical movement that I was doing. If that starts to come up, just let it go. Back to that mantra. I honor my body where it is today. Take 3 more big deep breaths in together, and we'll start to move. On your next exhale, slowly let the hands float onto your thighs or wherever they naturally rest. Hello, JD. She's been my quarantine buddy. All right, so open up those eyes, but keep them nice and soft. Let's release the palms of the hands down, flip the palms up. Take a nice big deep inhale, reach your arms all the way up overhead. Ooh, nice beautiful stretch. Kiss the palms of the hands up above the head and draw the hands all the way down to heart center. Once again, we can repeat that mantra, or if you have something else that connects with you better, feel free to say that instead. So I'm going to say, I honor my body where it is today, and seal that by dropping my chin down in towards my chest, feeling, ooh, a nice, delicious stretch in the back of my neck. And let's continue to stretch a little bit more. Take a nice big deep inhale, bring your arms all the way up overhead. And we're going to come into a nice gentle seated twist. So I'm going to take my left hand to the outside of my right thigh and take my right hand back behind me. Take a nice big deep inhale, lengthen my spine. Exhale from the belly, start to twist a little bit deeper. So keeping with that breath, 2 more times. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, bring it all the way back to center. We're going to do that same thing on the other side. Exhale, right hand comes to the outside of the left thigh. Left hand comes back behind us. Take a nice big deep inhale to lengthen. And exhale, twist. I like to describe this twisting motion like you're wringing out a washcloth, a very wet washcloth, just wringing out all those toxins and everything your body doesn't need anymore. One more time, inhale in. Exhale, twist it out. Awesome work. Let's return it back to center. I'm just gonna turn my body to the side so you guys can see what I'm doing. And I'm gonna inhale, bring my arms all the way back up overhead. And then this time, hinge from my hips and start to fold all the way down. Now my body is super, super tight. It's a lot stiffer than I'm used to. So I'm gonna be super gentle and honor my body where it is today and not judge, knowing that yes, if I was not sick and I did not just fight off this coronavirus the past 7 days, I would likely be able to slide a little bit deeper. But I know my body's been working overtime to fight this virus, and I'm just going to practice acceptance and just enjoy the stretch that I feel and that I'm giving my body right now. Maybe as I sit here, I'm able to wiggle myself a little bit deeper, maybe not. It's okay, I accept, and I honor my body where it is today. Taking 2 more breaths here. Beautiful, beautiful breath. Your breath alone is a gift. It's a miracle. And on our next exhale, I'm gonna slide my way into a tabletop position. Ooh, my hips are so tight. Oh my goodness. All right. Tabletop position, wrists in line with the shoulders, knees in line with the hips. And it's almost natural. Our body knows what to do here. We're gonna take a couple rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly down, look up. Right on cue, JD, I said cat-cow. And the cat comes. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, drop the belly down, look up. Exhale, round the spine. Now feel free to have some fun with your cat-cows here. Maybe wiggle your hips a little bit side to side. Ooh, it feels so good. Just free fluid movement right here. You can even walk your hands out a couple inches in front of you and start to draw some circles with your hips. Ooh, so delicious. Coming all the way back to a child's pose if that feels good. Kissing your kitty. Rolling forwards into a cobra if you don't have a kitty in your way. And we're just gonna play around for 5 more breaths. For me, this is just absolutely glorious because I've not been able to move my body like this in what feels like a long time, but really it's only been a week because I've been so sick. And I'm just really enjoying letting my body take a freestyle moment here. Right, JD? Oh yeah. Oh yes, feels so good. All right, now I'm gonna take it back into my tabletop position. Again, wrists in line with the shoulders, knees in line with the hips. And we're gonna take what's called some hip CARs. CAR stands for controlled articular rotation. So we're just gonna be moving our hips kind of in like a nice big circle. And it's gonna be great for those of us like me who have been out of commission for a while and laying down and dealing with some tightness in the hips. So first and most important is we wanna make sure that we have a neutral spine. So I don't wanna see any arching in the back. And we're gonna start with our right side. So I'm gonna flex my right foot, keeping my neutral spine, lift my sole of my right foot up towards the ceiling, and draw my heel close in towards the glutes. And then almost like I'm doing a fire hydrant motion, I'm gonna open my knee out to the side and then drop the knee back down in to meet the left knee. So I'm kicking it up, opening it out, and drawing it down. Now the tendency here would be to start to shift in the left hip and start to shift over to the left side. So try to avoid doing that and keep that left hip in line with the knee. And then just taking those movements into the opposite direction. Again, watch to make sure you're not leaning. I just kicked my kitty, sorry JD. Good, and then we'll slowly release that. I'm just gonna stretch my wrists out for a second before I go to the other side. So I'm gonna bring my fingers to face in towards my body and just rock back for a second, stretch out those wrists. And then I am going to flip them back around and do those rotations on the other side. So now, again, neutral spine, no arch, lifting my left leg up, drawing that heel close in towards my tush, and foot nice and flexed, opening it out to the side, hitting the wall on this side, and then lifting it back up. So now this time, I want to make sure that I don't lean over to the right side. That's some work. Let's switch the direction. Good. And then slowly releasing that. Nice work. One more time, giving a little stretch of the wrists. And we're about to come into my all-time favorite yoga pose ever, puppy pose. I'm gonna take a quick drink of water first, which I recommend all of you do because it's very important to stay hydrated because you are fighting this virus. All right, so puppy pose. Beginning back in that tabletop position. So basically, it's kind of like a child's pose, but you're keeping your tushy up. So most important thing is you keep the knees in line with the hips, and then you're gonna start to walk the hands all the way out in front of you. Now you might just be here, depending on how stiff you are, that's okay. Otherwise, you try to drop the forearms down and maybe drop your head down. And here in this pose, the chest opens up, which reduces the tightness around the back and the shoulders. And this opening of the chest improves the breathing capacity of the lungs, which is why this is a heart opener and makes it particularly amazing for recovery from COVID. So just staying here for another 5 or so breaths before we transition into our next pose. Awesome work. Now on our next inhale, you're going to press into the palms of the hands, lift your gaze up. So just look towards the top of your mat, and you're going to slide yourself all the way forwards to come into a Sphinx pose. So you might have to adjust yourself a little bit here to ensure that your elbows are in line with the shoulders. So we find ourselves here in a Sphinx pose. And here in Sphinx, you want to make sure that you're not leaning yourself down, but you're lifting your energy up and out away from the mat. So you feel a nice stretch in the low back. And you're pressing nice and firmly with your pelvis into the ground, just to prevent any tightness or pull in the low back. Now, if you want to intensify this stretch a little bit more, you can by pressing into the palms of your hands and maybe lifting your elbows up off the mat, coming into what we call seal pose. We'll take one more deep breath in here. And then on your exhale, slowly lowering all the way back down to Sphinx if you were lifted. And then coming to make a nice pillow with your hands and dropping your forehead down onto your mat, onto your hands. And once again, you want to invite some softness back into the body. So notice if you're clenching anywhere, clenching in the jaw, clenching in the back, the glutes, the shoulders. Release all of that tension and just focus on your breath. Since the abdomen is resting on the floor, with the weight of your torso pressing down on it, you'll feel the breath pressing the belly against the floor, gently expanding the low back and flaring the lower ribs. And this is the hallmark of diaphragmatic breathing. Your diaphragm is the main muscle responsible for respiration. And it's so important when you have COVID to take time each day to do this crocodile breath. This prone position helps increase the amount of oxygen you're getting into your lungs, as well as this posture, as you can tell right now, is very calming, very rejuvenating. So just breathe deep and relax. Honor your body where it is today, and know that your breath and your breath alone is a gift. All right, so we're going to transition into what's called a reclined wild thing. From here, it feels really good. So let's get into it. You're going to begin by releasing your hands into a T. I just kind of scooch myself over a little bit so I have some space. And you're going to begin by rolling onto your left ear. So roll onto your left ear. Now you're on your left ear. You're going to bend your right heel in towards your tush. Now you can stay here, or if you want to intensify this, you can roll all the way over onto your side and take your right foot back behind you. And I just got my back to crack. It felt beautiful. So this is nice because you're getting a nice stretch in the low back as well as the left side of your chest and your shoulders. We're just staying here for 3 more breaths before we take it to the other side. Tell you, this feels so good after a week of bed rest. Oh my goodness. All right, let's roll it all the way back around and do that same thing on the other side. All right, so once again, arms out to a T. Now this time, we're gonna roll onto our right ear, bend the left heel in towards the tush, and reach it all the way around and back behind us. Now, if the sole of the foot doesn't come all the way down onto the ground, that's okay. You can keep it hovering up as well. And just breathe. Enjoy. Your breath is a gift. I tell you, it really does feel like a gift to be able to breathe deep and breathe clear. That was something that I struggled with in the worst of it when I was very sick. All right, and let's take it all the way back around. From here, we're going to very, very carefully and gently transition back into a tabletop position. So I'm going to slide my hands back in towards my body, hug my elbows in towards my body, relax my shoulders down away from my ears, and slowly lift my chest all the way up to come through a cobra and into a tabletop position. All right, so from here, we're gonna come into the hips and the hamstrings a little bit more because, like I said before, I've been on bed rest for 7 days. So my hips are very, very tight and they need to be stretched. And I know that I'm likely not going to be able to stretch the way I usually do, but I'm going to honor my body where it is today and accept. So I'm first going to take my right leg and come to bring it all the way to the outside of my right hand. And then I'm just gonna walk my back leg back a little bit more so I make sure that I'm not on my left knee, not on the kneecap rather, but on the top of the thigh. So we're coming into a lizard pose, and this is step 1, and this is a perfectly okay place to stop. Your body might be giving you a stop sign here. That is fine, listen to it. If you want to go a step further, perhaps you're able to drop down onto your forearms. That's step 2. Step 3, perhaps, if your body allows, maybe tucking the left toes all the way under and lifting your back knee up. So I'm kind of rocking a little bit forwards and back here, just kind of feeling it out. Probably going to be playing around a little bit between keeping my knee down and lifting it up. Just kind of exploring, playing around, and just honoring my body and accepting where it is today. Just take 3 more breaths to play around. No right or wrong here. Feels so good. I'm going to drop my back knee all the way down, pressing back into my right hand, pressing back into my left hand. And then I'm going to keep my left hand down on the ground. I'm just going to take my right hand to the outside of my right thigh and just take a gentle twist looking past my right shoulder and maybe gently pressing my right hip open a little bit more while I do that. Awesome work. Bringing it all the way back to center. Now I'm going to very, very carefully inch my right foot back into the center line of the mat and take my right hand to frame the foot. And then I'm going to take it into a nice hamstring stretch. So I'm going to straighten my front leg and right away I'm feeling some pushback from my body. So I'm really not going to push it too much today. I'm just gonna kind of hang out here. But if your body allows, you can start to walk your hands out a little bit further away from your body to deepen the stretch. Maybe flex the foot and really dig your heel in towards the mat. That's gonna deepen the stretch as well. Goal is to get the chest as close to the thigh as you can, but for me, it just ain't happening today. And I'm accepting it. Either way, I'm just enjoying the stretch, enjoying my breath, and enjoying being able to move my body today. All right, next exhale, I'm gonna rebend into my knee, and I'm gonna carefully send it all the way back into my tabletop position and do whatever I need to do to kind of let that go before I do all of those steps on the other side. But before I do that, I am once again going to take another drink of water. Whew, that's good. All right, I'm ready to tackle the other side. Here we go. Left foot outside of the left hand. Walk my back knee back a little bit more. Making sure that I'm not on the kneecap. And then taking it down to my forearms. I'm actually noticing that this side is a bit tighter than the other, so I'm gonna see if I can take it to step 3, but I'm likely not going to stay there too long. Tucking the back toes under and lifting the back knee up. Actually doesn't feel too bad. Not as bad as I was expecting. 3 more breaths wherever you are. All right. Pressing into my left palm of my hand, pressing into the right palm of my hand. Now this time keeping my right hand down, taking my left hand to the outside of the left thigh, and taking that nice gentle twist, maybe opening out the hip even further. All right, placing the hand all the way back down. Let's see how this side's gonna go. Walk your foot back into the center line of the yoga mat. Hands frame the foot, and let's check it out. Straighten that front leg. Oh yes, just as tight as the other side. So again, I'm gonna stay pretty easy with it, not getting too deep here because it is very, very tight. All right. Bending it back and sending it back into our tabletop position. So from here, we're gonna come into a little bit of a forward fold, but I just wanna mention if you're dealing with headaches, I had horrible pounding headaches throughout the virus, you might wanna skip this and come right into a child's pose. So just use your discretion on this one. Otherwise, if you want to take that forward fold with me, we're going to tuck the toes under and walk the hands all the way back and just drop your head down and let it hang super, super heavy. So like I was saying before, my hamstring muscles are super, super tight. So I'm keeping a very, very big bend in my knees. I'm just gonna rock my head a little bit, yes. And rock my head a little bit, no. Again, just mentioning when I was in the worst of this, I would definitely not be practicing this posture, just because my headaches were way too severe for that. But I'm very happy to be able to be doing this now because it feels very, very nice. If you want, you can grab opposite elbows and keep hanging nice and heavy. It's that feels good. Again, just listening to your body today. Let's release the hands all the way back down. We're just gonna walk it out into a downward facing dog. We're not gonna stay here too long. We're keeping it nice and low down to the ground today. I'm gonna keep a nice bent knee, downward facing dog again, downward facing dog, oh my goodness, because those hamstring muscles, ooh, they are so tight. But this actually feels good right now, so I'm gonna keep with it. Let that breath flow. If it feels good, if it feels right, you can even take a vinyasa here. I'm just keeping it nice and slow today. All right. And let's drop the knees all the way down. We're gonna take it into a child's pose. So kiss the two big toes together. I'm gonna take a nice wide knee child's pose. Surrendering my glutes all the way down towards my heels. Walking my hands all the way forwards in front of me and dropping my head down onto the mat. So this is actually going to be where we take our Shavasana today. It's not advised when you are fighting off the coronavirus to be on your backs. It's just not the optimal place to be for breathing and just for lung health, which is why I'm going to avoid any going down on the back today. Plus, this just feels so good for me today. But if you have any other position that feels best for you, that you would prefer to be in, feel free to take that. But just be advised that they do say that you should keep off your back as much as possible, even sleeping on your side and sleeping on your tummy if you can, just to keep those lungs clear. I encourage you all to pause this video and stay in this child's pose as long as you guys would like. And one more time, repeat to yourself, I honor my body where it is today. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. And I hope that you guys feel better and that this yoga practice helped open up your body more and was very healing and soothing on your body. Thank you for watching, guys, and namaste.